What is up, everybody? Welcome, one and all. It's Mr. Christopher with the Funkatopia Radio Show with my illustrious co-host Jeff Page in the house. You like my Oh, you can't even see it. I got to turn this light now.
It's kind of dark over there, but
it's kind of dark over here. It says,
"Oh, nice, the future of music." All right, now.
This is actually Dallas Austin's setup over here. So I got to turn this light on, kind of give myself that. Maybe too much light. God dang. All right. Welcome, one and all. Sorry, we're getting off to a late start this morning. This evening.
This morning.
Oh, my God. Jeez. Oh, man. It's just been one of these days that's just been, it's been insane. The morning started off at 4 o'clock in the morning when Jaden's rabbit passed away. And brutally, I didn't know bunnies screamed.
Oh my gosh!
What? Apparently they do, and it was just it was not a good start. It was not a good start to the morning. But anyways, it was fine. Then today, it was just one meeting after another, and just trying to make sure that we had everything that we needed to have here in getting ready for this show. And it's just been nuts, man. It's
definitely been that kind of day. I've been running and just haven't been able to stop, and throughout the night too. So it's like, oh. So hi everybody, Shelby, what's happening? Good to see you, Manny.
Kiera. I thought you were gonna break into a Black Eyed Peas song there for a second.
I know.
Run in.
I figured I'd beat you to saying hello to people. That's awesome.
And then we also have a very, very special guest that's going to be joining us here momentarily. He's already in the waiting room here, and we are very, very honored to have him on board. It's going to be a lot of fun. Marcus Townsend is here from the Webheads, and we're going to be talking. Man, we got lots of stuff to talk about too. And he's got his name set up right now as Hollow, but because I was doing a little bit of research on Marcus, and he calls himself the Hollow Sinatra. And nice. I was checking out some of his stuff, man. And it's really cool. Tonight, we are going to be having an amazing time. Well, we got to say some hellos. I'm sorry. Shelby, hello. Many Moons, hello. Kiaria, hello. Andre, of course, hello. Cami, hello. I know that Jaden said she was going to stop in with her shirt. Thank you so much. Cami actually got Jaden a Dolly Parton shirt and a copy of her brand new CD, Run Rose Run. We're going to be talking. We're actually going to be talking about Dolly Parton tonight, but Jaden said she was going to put on the shirt and come in so that Cami could see that the shirt fit and everything went fine.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was actually very, very cool. Arlene, hello. April, hello. Lynette, Alina, P-Funk, me, what up, fam? Yes. What are the gas prices? Alina wants to know, what are the gas prices looking like over there? Well, it's Veronica. Hello. It's just capped out at $4. I think I got gas when it was like $3.59, and I filled up, and then literally later on that day it went up to $3.99 for low grade gas. That's just insane.
Like within a week everything was up $1. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's going
ridiculous. Yes. Cami says Bloomfield, Indiana gas is $4.50, and I think I saw somebody from California said that their gas was like $6 or something like that. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, this is just the opportunity to steer everyone to the electric cars.
Yeah. So Carrie says $5.85 for me. I am actually going to be. As you can tell, the view is a little bit different. I'm wearing actually Dallas Austin hooked me up with this really cool shirt. It says "I am the future of music." And it actually has the DAD logo on the. Can't really see it, but it has the DAD logo on the hood and everything. It's actually pretty cool. But I'm wearing a record store day hat, which is actually very, very cool. Record store day is going to be coming up here shortly, but it's got a really cool thing on the top. It's got only old school folks would know what that is.
I love it.
Yeah, it's got the adapter on the top. And it's got hashtag record store day on the back too. So it's very, very cool. But tonight we're going to be talking about NFTs, metaverses, and the future of music. I don't think you guys really have a full grasp as to what's about to happen in the music industry, and it's happening right now already. One of the things that we're going to talk a little bit about news. And actually, you know what? We'll probably just go ahead and do the show and then talk about news afterwards. Because I think there's a lot of stuff that people want to talk about. You know, news wise, you know, I think we had talked a little bit about. We talked a little bit about, you know, the whole update on Morris Day and the estate battle and all that stuff that's going on there. Also, let's get a couple of quick pieces out. I want to do yet another shout out to Tsuyoshi Demoto from Ender Sherry over in Japan. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much to Ender Sherry for. He had another radio show on, I guess, about 3 or 4 days ago, and he did another shout out to Funkatopia over in Japan on the radio show, and awesome. It's just fantastic. And so all you Ender Sherry fans, please stay close.
Okay, stop right there. Say his name right. Ender Kiri.
Ender Kiri. I keep saying Ender Sherry. Ender Kiri. Actually, it's Carey. Isn't it?
Carey? Yes, it's. I think it's
Ender Carey. Ender Carey. Ender Carey, and yeah, they've been continuing doing some shout outs. Just stay close. We've been, you know, we're kind of keeping things on the down low for right now. But just so you know. So big shout out. But on his radio show, he mentioned Funkatopia, and he said, "I'm so happy that the music I made from my heart can reach the hearts of people all over the world. I'm so happy that the music I make from my heart reaches. I'm very happy with this reality. It is a great pleasure to be appreciated by people who know what we are doing. I will continue to tune in and paint my music so that it can be heard from many people abroad." And we're absolutely going to do our dangdest to make sure that everybody knows the name Ender Carey for sure. And
absolutely,
we'll make sure that it gets burst out. Also, real quick, happy 60th birthday to my good friend Brown Mark.
Brown Mark, happy birthday.
Brown Mark is obviously, you know, from Brown Mark from the Revolution, and it's 60th birthday today. Wow. Congratulations, brother. That's very, very cool.
And he looks 60, man. He
looks fantastic.
You would never guess that.
Yeah, so after we get done with the show here, we're going to talk a little bit about we're going to talk about some other things. We'll talk a little bit about Morris Day and what's going on with the estate there. Also, some interesting things we saw that I happened to stumble upon on Twitter. The state has, I guess, late last year, started to do a bunch of trademarks and like trademark a bunch of names.
Wow!
And somebody actually found the trademark page that has like all these different names and different things that they have said over the years, and that they've trademarked them. And one of the things I found very, very interesting, and I'm hoping that you know, Mark may have an opportunity to join us at some point tonight. One of the things that they trademarked was Maserati.
Oh, come on, son!
How did the estate trademark Maserati? That was Mark's band, and he named it Maserati. It was his band. He gave the band the name, but the estate trademarked that name.
Oh,
so
man.
We're going to talk about this in the news because that doesn't make any sense to me. I got to talk to Mark about it. I got to get him on the show at some point and look at this stuff. And also, I'll give you an update on the app as well that's coming tonight. Man, no, Andre wanted to know if Morris Day of the Time was trademarked. That was trademarked many, many years ago.
Yep.
But the time, not Morris Day of the Time. Morris Day is his name. They couldn't trademark that. But that will all shake out. That will all shake out. Tonight, we're going to be talking about NFTs, Metaverses, and the future of music. That is the topic that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Right. And if you're confused now, hopefully we will demystify some of it.
Yes.
That's so vast.
That's the goal, is to make sure that somehow we manage to demystify some of this stuff. Because if you're like, oh, dude, I'm already out. I don't know what any of this stuff is about. It's just crazy. We're going to talk about this.
Right.
And we have a very, very special guest we're going to bring on that's going to help clarify some things too for us. And Jeff Page also is going to be clarifying some things as well. And I'm just kind of almost a little bit along for the ride type of scenario. But, you know, one of the things I found very, very interesting, and I just thought about this, this is not in the notes, Jeff, is COVID did, if there's anything positive that came of COVID, there's two things positive that came of COVID. The first thing that was positive that COVID did was it forced businesses to realize that they can indeed do business online.
Right.
Their people, their employees do not have to be in the building. They can actually get work done. They can actually be more productive, and they can save overhead, and they can, and that it still works.
Right.
It forced businesses into this model,
Right.
and which is crazy. But the second thing that kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about tonight, the second thing that COVID did that's a positive is that in the beginning, this wasn't positive, but artists and musicians were like, all of a sudden they couldn't do anything. They were out. They couldn't do concerts. They couldn't do live shows. And it kind of forced them into doing concerts online.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it became a realization that, wow, the artists were like, we can make a lot of money doing shows online. There's no travel cost involved. There's no, we can actually, so it actually opened up a whole new revenue stream for musicians and artists.
Well, I'll say that's actually the 2 points to that, because there's two pieces. Like for the work and the companies, I kind of spin it just a little bit. I put it where it gives the people the opportunity to prove that they can work from home, because there are a lot of people that are in jobs that are hard workers and know that they could do better and do it. And they're now finally able to prove it. And I like to take that spin, because there's a lot of people that work from home that shouldn't be. And if you really want to work from home, you need to prove it. Yeah. And then on the artist side, for music in the industry, many artists have already been doing live streaming. They've already been doing the streaming concerts before COVID. But what it did is it opened that door and proved, and it made the public aware, because it was going to happen anyways. It just would have taken so much longer to take hold like it has. So it's done that. It's expedited the process.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about this is that everything that we're going to be talking about, Prince did years ago.
Right.
When you think about the metaverse scenario, when he created that interactive game, and you were in his world, and you could go to different places, and you could click on different things and interact with different things, and he created like the first metaverse. Right. And then on the same, I mean, it wasn't technically online, it was local on your computer, but it was, the concept of it was there. And he was streaming what he was doing, the Yahoo concerts. When he did the concerts on Yahoo, he was doing the live streaming there, and it was just mind-boggling. Anyways, so
when you're ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then of course, obviously, we're going to talk about NFTs, and there he was selling his music online before anybody was like, is this really viable? And yes, the answer was yes. So, wow.
Yeah.
So tonight, welcome one and all. We're going to be talking about technology and where we're at right now with NFTs and metaverses and what it means in the music world. And tonight we're going to be covering a topic that I'm just going to tell you I'm the least educated about. I mean, in most cases for our shows, I'm the one who's taken the majority of the notes. I compile the line of questioning, but tonight, even though I'm going to be kind of steering things tonight, I'm really in the passenger seat. I mean, I'll be clarifying things and asking questions to my esteemed panel tonight. But the topic this evening, as I've already said a few times, is NFTs, metaverses, and the future of music. And while we will briefly discuss the basics of for you so that you can follow along of how this all ties to music, this is not a topic for everybody. So, and I get that. But before we start, Cammie, I know you're here. You wanted to see Jaden in her Dolly Parton shirt. There she is. She's I guess stand up straight so you can say. So yeah, so it fits. Everything looks good. This is good.
That's awesome.
Yes. So we did invite a guest to speak about NFTs, but we had a bit of a scheduling conflict. So my superstar co-host Jeff Page will be tackling the NFT side of this broadcast, along with a very, very special guest, Marcus Townsend from Webheads.io, aka the Webheads. Let me bring this young man in here real quick.
It is.
There it is. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm taking that one.
So, and he's and basically Marcus is going to accentuate Jeff Page's discussion on NFTs by talking about what he's doing with the Webheads and how exactly that works. So we're kind of going to be doing all those things.
Yeah. Awesome.
Then we're also going to be talking about the metaverse, and which I'm super excited about. Just so we're real clear, we're super excited about because both Jeff Page, I'm on the wrong side. Both Jeff Page and Marcus will both be doing actual metaverse demonstrations right here on the show, and we're going to talk about what it is. How music can be incorporated. And again, both of them are going to take you to some bold new worlds in the metaverse, and it's going to be amazing. And this is going to be insane. Anyways, love you, dear. So Marcus, how are you, brother?
Man, I can't complain about anything. I just had a really great day with some friends. We just chop it up, playing video games and working on some animations.
Yes.
Yeah, life is pretty good.
Oh my God. I met Marcus at an NFT event in Atlanta, and we were sitting at the same table, and he was creating this unbelievable metaverse on his laptop right next to me. But as I dug further, he also showed me some things that he was doing with the Webheads. So first up, I'm going to hand the mic over to our special guest, Marcus Townsend. And I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to switch the view here just a little bit to kind of make you larger and more important than anybody else. Because you are.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. I made
it.
So I want to know, how did you get involved in the world of NFTs and metaverses? But, basically, which came first for you? Which drew your attention in? But before you answer, please make sure we don't get too technical in this explanation, because we haven't really talked about the basics of NFTs and metaverses yet. And most of these people that are over here on this list right here are like, I don't even know what we're talking about tonight. So, but between NFTs and metaverses, what first drew you in, and what intrigued you to kind of take it to the next level?
And I would say NFTs. Initially, I first was engaged with. First of all, just to set the ground straight, I'm 20 years old, so NFTs have kind of just been like digital tokenization of things have kind of just been me growing up, just in general. It really, really did hit me though when I saw my little brother playing 2K, like the basketball game, and he was spending like $20 on a shirt inside of the game to wear inside of the game, and he was spending like merch inside of the game based off of like my parents' credit card, like him take it, and I was like, wow. So that that really just like made me look at things through like a different perspective of like attaching real life currency to like digital assets and goods. I didn't know what the hell an NFT was at the time though, but like I started to just like be open to learning about animation, learning about like different video games that have like their in-game currencies and how you would able to buy actual items in there. And then NFT just became a thing out of nowhere. And I was like, wow, this is, I guess, is the perfect timing.
Right. And some of the stuff that you're doing with the Webheads, we'll talk about that too. I don't know if you're ready to, if you'll be ready to screen share some of the Webhead stuff, but
I can screen share the world build essentially. We're still rendering out, like we have a collection of 2,222 heads, and we're still rendering out and picking out the ones we like and we don't. that's like in my folder. But I have the Blender. I actually built on a lot more of what it is that I showed you that time that we're at the ATL NFT.
Very cool. So when we're going to talk about the basics of NFTs with Jeff Page, I'm going to let you talk about the basics of this so people understand what we're talking about here before it gets way too out of hand. Because we don't want to like build on a misunderstanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
But when we do talk about NFTs, I want you to show, the different heads and stuff that you created. And then we talk about metaverses. I definitely want to show the world that you're creating. I mean, obviously, wherever you are in that regard. But
absolutely.
Jeff Page,
yes,
my illustrious co-host, why don't you share with these people exactly what is an NFT?
Perfect. So first thing, an NFT stands for, it's a non-fungible token. And what that is, it's a crypto asset. It's an online, it's an asset in which each token is unique. And so to put it in perspective, the fungible asset, a dollar bill, Bitcoin, those kind of things, they're worth the exact same amount. So if I have a Bitcoin is worth this. So I have as many Bitcoins as I want. That's it. Dollar, that's the end. The non-fungible token, the amount is unique. So the cost is different depending on the item. It's used to authenticate ownership of a digital asset. So we're talking about merch. As you noticed, you mentioned merch and items. So those items develop value. So the NFT is the authentication of that item to give it its value. So that's artwork, recordings, virtual real estate, or even pets or virtual pets, those kind of things. Think of that. Think of a certificate of authenticity for digital artifacts or items. That's in a nutshell.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, and to kind of, just to pause here just for a second, because this is important for everybody here to kind of understand, because again, I don't want to confuse you right out of the gate and then build on that confusion. An NFT can be music, it can be a photo, digital art piece, like etc. Like Jeff Page just explained. But another way to think about this is to think about a painting, a piece of original artwork. And I'll actually share the screen because everybody here is.
Here we go.
Oh, you got it up? Great. This is Van Gogh's painting A Starry Night. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is a painting. Oops, I'm on the wrong side. That is a painting of Van Gogh's Starry Night. We've seen it. We're seeing it right now. But there is only one original of A Starry Night. He only painted one painting. There's been duplicates made. There's been multiple replications made of this, but there's only one. There's only one of these that's actually the original. Right. And that's important because that is the epitome of an NFT in digital form. That's the epitome of it. There's one digital thing, an original piece of art that's created by the artist, but it's just in digital form. Right. And so that's ultimately the best way to explain it, is that there's only one. Yep. So let's go back to Marcus for a second, because this is where the Webheads kind of comes into play. And I don't know if you can possibly share a screen kind of showing some of the heads that you've done, but explain what the Webheads are, and where you came up with the idea. And I guess for my own questioning, how do you find buyers, and how do you even set the pricing for this type of artwork and stuff? But I'll just kind of let you drive this part.
For sure. Is my screen shared?
I can actually add it to the screen. I can pull it right here. Yep.
Is it glitching up top? It's doing that on my end.
Yeah, it's twitching up top. Weirdly. But that's okay. That's okay. We get the idea.
That's technology.
That's technology.
Yeah.
So essentially the Webheads, as you can see, let me open up the And these are just like the different varieties of the webheads that I've made and randomly generated. I'm making a piece of 2,222 heads, and they are essentially like offshoots of the original web, which is like the character I have like on my hat. He is like my main character. He is like my personification of AI, essentially. And these flying webheads are essentially working together to make a decentralized application for the Web3 musicians called Webfi.io. Now, the reason why I made 2,222 heads is because it kind of serves as like a token, essentially. Like the individuals that buy these webheads are going to be able to use the application whenever it comes out in beta. So it's kind of like you see these are essentially called PFPs or profile pictures because it's kind of like the individual's identity whenever they buy one of these webheads. This is my own the only version of this webhead, and I am this. This is who I am. And the reason why there's so many different variations is because 2,222 people are going to buy them. Setting the price for these a lot, like when NFTs first came out, it was like a huge thing to set the price for like super high and then make it where it's like it kind of detracted the buyer from buying it. But now you see the trend where you set the price where it's like $15, $14, even $30, where you have like 10,000 pieces and you build a community on Discord, Twitter to have all of those individual pieces sold. Because if you sell like 2,000 or 7,000 different assets for like $14, $15, not only is the individual getting the perk of being a part of a community and being part of like the perks of being community, like free merch, the application whenever it releases, the advent and the bet that the price is going to rise as this character rises in popularity. But you also are owning the individual art, essentially. It's really, I can go into like a bunch of different advents about it. I'm trying to knock out every question that you're asking me. How I set the price. I set they call it the floor price, where like you essentially set the price lower than when you scale. And that goes into like the economics of it, but that's kind of not where my mind essentially is. My mind is all about the world build, the user experience. How can I provide the people, my community, the best, or the webheads in my community, the best experience while being a webhead? Now, this project, we haven't released or put the webheads out yet because we are working on the application Webfi.io. So we're in the stages right now of building the community. This is the web quarters. This is what it is that I was essentially showing you when we were at the NFT ATL. And this is like where you go inside of it. And it's like the webheads are essentially building this core reactor thing. And this is what I'm going to put in the VR application Spatial so that the community members are able to get like a feel of like the origins of the webheads and like how it's kind of like a big story tell, but there just so happens to be on chain through NFTs. So it's really they call it meta, where it's like it can go over a lot of people's heads. Right, and yeah. I feel like it definitely can.
Yeah, I mean, there's some questions here. Elisa asked, are NFTs registered so that there is a tangible benefit or value?
Yes. I would. Yeah, I will let Jeff answer this because I have my own answer, but I will let you answer this.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I want to explain it because it's a vocabulary thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about blockchains. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blockchain. So I can go into that. Do you want to?
Yeah, and this actually also answers a question from Kate, who says, "Is there a body that oversees authenticity of NFTs?" So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone here.
First principles.
We're talking. So I'm gonna take this picture down, Jeff, and I'm gonna let you explain. I'm gonna let you just explain blockchains to people.
Yeah,
so
Absolutely. It's called the blockchain. So what the blockchain is it is the list of transactions that anyone can view and verify. So an example of a Bitcoin blockchain, for example, is it contains a record of every time someone sent or received a Bitcoin. So that technology makes it possible to transfer value online without the need of a middleman, like a bank or credit card company or anything. And secure payments can be made without going through all those verifiers. You can make a payment without providing sensitive information. Almost zero risk of compromised information. Basically, your data compromised, and identities being stolen.
Yeah.
All the transactions on the blockchain, they're published publicly. That's what the blockchain is. So it leaves no room for manipulation of transactions, changing money supply, or changing or adjusting rules mid-game or mid-agreement. Everything you purchase, there's a specific contract. The contract explains exactly how the money moves and what the thing is valued. Nobody can adjust it because it's public. Everyone can see it. And you can go through that blockchain. Look, think of on a boat, if you have an anchor, and literally see the chains that hold the anchor. And each one of those chains is the running data, a bank ledger. So that's why it can be verified and secure at the same time, because everyone can see it. No one can touch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to tag on the question, is there a body that oversees authenticity in NFTs? The answer to that is no. Like the fact that it's decentralized, when he was referring to the blockchain, all of those are individual blocks that are mined by individual users using their individual computers. So it kind of like separates the computing power based off of every individual that's on chain. So there can't be like a central force in it, because it's split up by so many different people to do so many different tasks. And like every individual transaction on chain is like a individual transaction. And in order to like go back and I guess in order to like corrupt it, you would have to go back to the original first like blockchain that was ever made. So it's literally impossible. It's really impossible. It's really foolproof.
Yeah. And just like what he said, the computers are people's computers. Now, not necessarily every consumer in their house. It doesn't work that way. You'll build a computer that specifically is made for mining. That's the best way to do it. But what it does, what happens is when a blockchain is created, certain computers get what's called, I think it's a bid or whatever the word is. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It's a stake. I think it went to proof of stake from proof of
Yes,
work.
there it is. And so it authenticates the new chain and the new creation. And then it goes through the series of all, like you said, all the internet computers coming together to create that one.
It's crazy.
That chain. It's, I don't know, like DNS.
Yeah.
Familiar with DNS?
Yeah. I mean, and the reason why I'm laughing is because of the fact that, it just gets so insanely technical. And I know that people are just like, oh my God, everybody shut up now. Cause it's like, we're like fucking lost now. And I get it. I totally get it. So I'm going to ask one more question. Then we're going to talk about how music is tying into all this. And it's really for me, because I don't know the answer to this question. And I honestly don't know the answer to. I'm not asking this question because I know, and I want to hear your, views on this or whatever. But I want to talk just a second about cryptocurrency. Okay. There are so many varieties of cryptocurrencies that are out there. And I don't know which one of you can answer this question, but anyone watching this that has ever dipped their toe into the cryptocurrency pool because they heard that their next door neighbor's brother's cousin was made millions of dollars off of buying, something, buying a cryptocurrency, and then they, downloaded whatever, they downloaded Coinbase or something, and they tried their hand at cryptocurrency or whatever. It's just, you're inundated with all these different ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Polygon, Anchor, Tezos, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, just on and on, all these different ones. So this is kind of a multi-part question. And then we're going to talk about how music fits into all this. What is the difference between all these cryptocurrencies? I mean, and I also heard, some use more energy than others. So that kind of devalues cryptocurrencies because they use more energy. What energy are they using? And what is that about? And what makes one more valuable than another? And I know that sounds like a really stupid newbie question, But I'm sure there's people here that are just like, I'm so glad somebody asked that and sounded like a dumbass online. So I don't know which one of you would be able to answer.
You got it, Jeff. You got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know. I'm just like, it's
No.
your show. You got it.
It's fine. I'll put it out there, and like I said, I will simplify it as much as possible. And you can obviously jump in anytime. And if I say something wrong, because we're not experts and everyone's learning, but I'll tell you this: an analogy. The easiest way to think of all the currencies is think of it like real currency. Think of the U.S. dollar, European euro, the Japanese yen, the British pound. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
The Canadian dollar. There's different money. So cryptocurrency is the same thing. It's different money. The way that, if you think of that, they're different countries. The metaverse, different metaverse worlds use different currency, and some use multiple currencies. So, for example, Decentraland is one that many people have heard of. That uses a specific currency called mana. Most things you want to purchase there, you have to have that currency. Just like if you go to a certain country, you have to use their currency. That money gets converted. So you go, it's converted to whatever the value is. Just like the dollar, the value can change. So that's how you want to think of all the different currency. And just like when you look at the stock market, every Bitcoin, Ether, Ethereum, Tezos, like you mentioned, each one has its own value that increases and drops and moves just like the stock market. So making money it's kind of like you said, you go into Coinbase and you said, oh, I'm here and I'm going to make all this money. Well, you buy something because you're not sure what it is. And you're like, I own a piece of Bitcoin. And then they give with a piece of Bitcoin because one Bitcoin is $39,000.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what? The thing I saw too, the other thing I saw was like, Coinbase sends me this information saying Cardano was up 5%, or it will like send me these messages and stuff. The reality of it is, if you have $100,000 that you can throw at some cryptocurrency and it increases by 10%, and you get a 10% return on your money, and you can quickly cash out. If you have big money to throw at it, and you can grow at that pace, even as small as it is, you can make some serious cash. But Pete Funk asked a really, really good question. He says, what crypto can I use to buy Prince bootlegs and tip strippers?
I think we'll have to make that. We need to make a strip club in the metaverse.
Right. All right.
There are some. So let's.
There probably is, but I don't even know. I didn't want to know what a digital stripper looks like. So let's.
No.
It makes no sense to me.
All right. So before everybody grabs a pillow, it was funny. I was listening. Kevin says, and I'm hearing Charlie Brown's teacher. Yes, Miss Johnson. Yes, Miss Johnson. Let's talk for a second. Let's bring this back around. We wanted to kind of give you the basics before you guys all glaze over. But let's talk about how music can tie into NFTs. Okay, so this is kind of what the core of this show is about. And I pulled this description from, it was actually it's not a description. They talked about it on the website Motley Fool. The term, it's going to be a little bit redundant here, but it says the term NFT is applied to all sorts of fungible tokens, meaning multiple copies exist and are owned by various parties, secured on a blockchain that grant the owner the right to music, album art, or videos created to accompany music, and some other exclusive access to content. Selling music and related artwork via the blockchain is a way for an artist to forge a direct relationship with the fan base without the need for a record label or music streaming service. Yep. Remember, we were talking about this before with Prince when he started the MPG Music Club. He was like, okay, look, Warner Brothers cannot keep out with the volume of music that I'm putting out. And they're not wanting to release all the music that I'm releasing as fast as I'm releasing it. So I'm going to start my own music club. People will pay me X amount of dollars, and I will just distribute that music directly to them, and I will give them specific things on and off. I'll send them shirts every now and then, do whatever. That's exactly what Prince did a long time ago. But anyways, if done right, it can equate to a bigger profit for the creator since there's one less hand in the cookie jar. However, it said, minting music NFTs isn't free since Ethereum gas fees, which is essentially the cost to compute and record a transaction on the blockchain for listing, can also start to add up. And they gave two specific examples of current examples of bands that have done this. And some of you guys may have heard this already, but there's a rock band that's very, very popular called Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
Kings of Leon did an NFT project called NFT Yourself. And it kind of really opened up, it really shone the light on musicians in the crypto world. But the band sold limited edition digital copies of its latest album called When You See Yourself as an NFT. And it came with digital art and a collectible vinyl record, and various other pieces of art based on the album's theme were sold too, kind of like what Marcus has done with Webheads. So they had an album cover, but then they made thousands of variations of that album cover. And so not only were the people buying the album, but they also, if they decided to, I guess it's like the equivalent of like a VIP experience when you go to a concert, they wanted to pay a little bit extra, then they could get an exclusive digital piece that only they had a copy of. So there was no other version of that art. Like could you imagine if like an artist like Prince if Prince was still around to this day and he created 10,000 NFTs,
oh my gosh,
10,000 digital pieces of artwork that a person could say, I am the only person that owns this piece of digital artwork from Prince. So while Kings of Leon is still a really, really big band, they're obviously not as big as Prince was, but that's kind of what's happening here. And anyways, that album ended up netting them about $2.5 million in sales. And this is not like a readily available thing. Now, an even bigger scenario was a band by the name of Grimes. And
yes,
they
Grimes.
did a 2021 drop, and it was entitled War Nymphs. And it wasn't just a music NFT, but it was a collection of those digitally created art pieces and videos set to music. And just one single piece, because Grimes has got some insane fans. One piece that was called Death of the Old auctioned for $389,000 on the NFT marketplace called Nifty Gateway.
Yep.
So Grimes released an album via NFT, completely digital, but actually allowed people to auction off to buy different pieces of digital artwork. And that album made them $7 million. That's all them. That's them. There's no distribution person in the middle of this. There's no record company with their hand in the cookie jar. There's nothing.
Right.
It's the artist and the direct relationship that they have with the fan base. So musicians can create this unique artwork and collectible items, mostly digital, and create like an online version of, like I said, like a VIP access to a concert. Like when you go to a concert with your favorite band and you pay a little bit extra to get, better seats, maybe a collectible lanyard and a poster. When I went to go see Kendrick Lamar at the the Tabernacle in downtown Atlanta for the Kucha's Groove session, I bought backstage access. I was able to meet him. I also got a T-shirt, but I also got To Pimp a Butterfly on vinyl. It was like a poster, a lanyard, like all this stuff that I got just from paying a little bit extra. But this is like the digital online equivalent of that. But what I would have gotten would have been specific to me. Like I would have been I would have been the only person that would have that version of that particular piece of art. And if I'm a hardcore fan of an artist, that's huge. That's
Yeah. Right.
that's like I can show this off and I can say, I bought this. This is mine. There's nobody else that has this like I have it, and that's just crazy. So I want to send this over to Marcus. Outside of outside of musicians attaching artwork to the music, like the example that I just gave, how does a digital artist such as yourself gain traction and kind of push interest to your projects? I mean, like, how does a smaller band or musician actually get a little bit of traction with this? I know you had mentioned Discord, but is there other ways to get the word out and kind of help with?
I think the biggest thing is no different from Web 2 models. Web 3, getting into Web 3, and this entirely different conversation, but like a mass of hype is still just starts with the community build. Like, the reason why Grimes and the reason why Kingsley and were able to sell them much, obviously, is because they had the clientele and the backing and everything behind them.
Right.
So it's like it's the grind. It doesn't stop. Like, the grind is no different than being an artist that's not selling NFTs. It's like you have to grind and actually have attention directed towards your Discord, towards those different channels. And once you have that community, you have to constantly be there for them, constantly grow it, because it's essentially a family. And the thing is like, once you have that direct stream into platforms like Discord and Twitter, that's when they're able to connect to your project and connect to what you're doing. I personally think that there's more of a plus for me individually being a smaller artist growing, because I could take more time with growing out a story and having just like my things and my work being shown in real time. Because also that as well builds a community. It's not just like paying for ads where you can get people directly to your channel. Well, you can do that. The biggest thing that you want to do is to have a genuine community build and attract genuine buyers or consumers to your product. There is a lot of mainstream methods that a lot of musicians or NFT projects are using, like paying for NFT promoters to get like their Twitter like huge and bumping and their Discord huge and bumping. But that works if what you're going for is like a automatic relap on your money. If you want to have like an automatic sellout, that works perfectly fine. There's no dissing on that. But I would recommend for like the smaller and smarter artists that's growing, I would say it's the grind. It's constantly putting yourself out there, putting your work out there, figuring out how to automate that as well. So like if you're posting on Twitter, if you're posting on Instagram, make some stuff on the weekend that you can like spread out throughout the week, and just put like a Twitter post automator where you can just like automate those posts every day, automate those Instagram posts every day, driving attention to the Discord, driving attention to Twitter, where you can focus on creating more so you can have more content. It's still just a content game, because like genuine people come genuinely for the content.
Right.
Yeah. And, I see a couple people making mention. I know Judy Page mentioned it's funny money trying to be hidden from taxation, so you have to be careful. I think there's a little bit more to that than that, and also more, yeah. But and Elisa said, so is the artist getting to take cash for this? So yeah. So how do you, what do you do? If you're an artist that happens to sell NFTs and you've got however many thousands of Ethereum or whatever it is that you've got, that how do you convert it into money at that point in time? And then what are the tax laws about this, or is the government just like they're still in a state of confusion about all this?
It's still taxes. I have some investments in my in Robinhood, where in Robinhood and Coinbase, I haven't really pulled anything out of my Coinbase. I haven't pulled any of my crypto assets. I'm diamond hands till like the day I die. But in terms of Robinhood, they sent me like a tax form for it because it's tax season. So I actually still had to do my taxes on my Dogecoin that I had in Robinhood. So yes, you still have to do file taxes and do taxes on your crypto. The more that you have, I'm sure, is the more you have to pay in taxes. But I remember being in a Twitter space with an NFT lawyer, and he said that if you had an LLC or an actual business, you were able to get a lot more benefits and a lot more breaks if you have your NFT project under that business, compared to you having it under you being just like an individual artist. Because it's like, if it's under a business, I'm sure just like NFT, non-NFT, you get like tax benefits, you get breaks, is that the other. But if you're just like a artist that you're just releasing NFTs under just like no business, no LLC, and you get like $100,000, $200,000, like sure you're gonna be like taxed out of your butt because you're not gonna be able to write off anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jeff Page, what else can be sold as NFTs? I know we've been talking about like digital artwork, like them taking pieces of artwork and like the album art and changing it and making different variations and stuff and selling them along with, album sales and whatever, if you decide to upgrade or whatever. But what are some other things that, musicians might be able to package, or some other real world examples of NFTs?
Yeah. Okay. I do have a few ideas, and the point, the key thing about the NFT, and you'll find that anybody can actually do this. This isn't something that like there's this elaborate whatever. Anyone can create this. Is the limit, the exclusivity of the item. So the one-off, it becomes value. The 2022. That's all. That's actually a very small number considering how many people are online. So when you think 2022 and you say that many, you go, no. If I own one and 2022 people also purchase one of his Webheads, guess what? We're not going to run into each other probably every day. Yeah. So it's a rare item that only I have. Now, the rarity of it is where the value comes in, because the contracts and whoever originally sets the NFTs and the minting process and all that stuff, which we will not get into because, again, glaze over.
Yeah.
Every time the item resells, because let's say I'm a collector, the point is I bought this NFT and I like this, but now I'm ready to resell it. Yep. When I resell it, I can resell it for more value because it's a collector's item. And everyone on that blockchain, everyone who's a part of the original NFT also gets paid on the resells. So it's not just I have this thing and that's it. Investors and people who are making money are reselling collectible items. So that's the other piece to think of. And that's why these are rare items and they're considered rare items. So Chris, you were talking about the concert thing, and you have this one experience, but you have an item from it that's the value. So keep that in mind. Also, I'll show you a couple of ideas. Like there's NBA virtual trading cards. Actually, here let me show you an example of it. This is one. This is Jalen Duren. New people. Not everybody knows who he is, but he's an NBA player, and it's an original piece of art, and I've got the music turned down, but there's music attached to it. So this is a collector's item, and
we're hearing the music.
Oh, you can hear it?
Yeah, I can hear the music.
Okay, good. It's low though, right? I turned it down.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now this is where the value is. Music and art have come together because people want this piece of art. They want this guy. So if I resell it, the music goes with it. Everyone attached to the music or the art is continuing to get paid. So that's one example of NFT. There's music and video clips. A lot of people may have heard of deadmau5. They've been around. Yeah, deadmau5. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
It'd be like that.
I know, right? deadmau5. They've got a lot. They have actual campaign. So they do multiple NFT kind of scenarios and art. This is one example of some of their art. So if you're a fan and you love what they're doing, you own this. No one else has it. This is an announcement, but you see the art in the background. Everything has value when it's video. One of the original items was the Nyan Cat, and there's a bazillion pronunciations of it. It was the first sale, and I don't remember how many millions it sold for. The very first item ever sold as a Bitcoin kind of thing. And this is all it is.
I talked to the creator of Neon Cat, actually. We're in Twitter space together.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's worth bazillions.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. It's just, insane. So yeah, and I guess what I don't understand is some of this stuff. And I think there's still music playing from that Jalen card. I think it's
Oh, sorry about that.
no. There's still some music playing in the background. I just don't want the blockchain to match it up and find us. Yeah, so it's, and we could get into like, the ridiculous. I mean, Sylvia was asking, how would this work for Prince? And we were talking about this. Prince was already doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. The only difference is that, like with the MPG Music Club, we were talking about how he was like bypassing the labels and just creating this one of a kind experience that you could buy into. And he also was one of the first to do the metaverse thing when he released his interactive game in 94, 95. I don't remember what it was. It was in the 90s. And he released a video game called Interactive. And you got to go into his whole universe, walk through his house, click on paintings and stuff. And I actually have a link to it. We'll show that in a second. We're going to show Prince Interactive. But if Prince had created, let's just say, the Rainbow Children. Let's just say Prince released the Rainbow Children album as an NFT. And you could buy the Rainbow Children album, and there was like different versions of, let's just say there were 2,000 different versions of the Rainbow Children album cover. Just little variations, maybe, just little variations on every little thing that was on that album cover. And whatever album cover that you owned, you were the only person that owned that album cover that looked just like that. That is part of what is happening with NFTs, because in the digital world, it's a lot. Physical stuff, it's a lot more difficult, but in the digital world, it's a lot easier to create thousands upon thousands of variants of a particular piece of artwork. And so musicians and artists can actually just attach themselves to all this stuff and attach those things to individual purchases and make it so that your experience as a fan of that group or of that band is yours and yours alone. The music is the same for everybody, but there may be some exclusivity to that. And technically, realistically, going down the road, they could feasibly make thousands of different versions of a song that
I've seen that actually is a thing. I'm in a Discord with this group called OMG Kirby, and they worked with like 20 different producers, and they made just like a bunch of different like stems, like audio tracks. I think they're like 30-second long essentially, but they have like a randomizer on it where it's like they all match perfectly, but they're all different songs, and they're selling just like thousands of these different variations of songs. And that's just like, I think that is I think that's a really huge spot where music NFTs can go as like a subsync for music NFTs. I see that being a huge thing. And like the another thing that Jeff was talking about as well, like the percentages is a thing that whenever I talk to like my musician friends, they're like NFT this, but I talk to them about the percentages of things. Like whenever you're able to get royalties, essentially, like every time your individual like song or art is being sold, you're able if you set like a 5 to 15% royalty on that particular work of art, you're able to get 15 to 5% every time that asset is being sold. So it's like if Andy Warhol, like he sold like his individual, like he was selling his shit for like really big in the 80s, but he doesn't get that money whenever that value is increased because obviously he didn't sell his art as an NFT. But if there was like a artist 2022 that was like huge freaking artist of the Andy Warhol of our time, and if they were to sell like a 2,222 piece collection and the entire collection sold out. But if they have like a 5 to 15% royalty fee on each individual art, every time that thing is sold, because they're popular, every time that thing is sold, they get 5 to 50% of royalties every time that thing is sold. And it is always guaranteed because it's in the blockchain. Like you can't disrupt that. Right. So it's like it's going to make. Yeah,
Prince absolutely would have been a part of that because that was a huge thing for him. I mean, because especially with like bootlegs and things like that, that was like really big for him because he would record these, songs and somebody would take it, regardless of how they got it, and they would make a copy of it, and then somebody else would make a copy of it, and somebody else would make a copy of it. But if it was a digital, NFT and he actually released it and sold it to somebody, he would get a royalty every single time that was, you know, he absolutely would have figured a way to monopolize on the NFT thing. And he probably was. We don't even know if you know, the reality of it was, but
yeah.
The conference that, go ahead.
And just to remember, the NFT is not the asset. So the item itself that's selling is just the item. The NFT is the certificate of authenticity attached to it. So just remember that it's not an NFT, it's an asset. And then we have this attached to it to prove you own the original. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the
and that's when you
conference
get into
where
smart contracts and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to go into all that because we're trying to keep our folks online with us here. The conference where I met Mark is at featured musician producer Dallas Austin, and he has this distribution service called Dallas Austin Distribution, or DAD, DAD for short. And he has an entire distribution system that allows you to post and distribute your music based on this technology from this company called Symphonic. And this is actually one of the sweatshirts from DAD. It's actually got the DAD logo on here as well, on the hood and everything. But yeah, it's Symphonic, which is what DAD is based on, controls everything about the distribution of your music. I mean, just everything about it. I mean, where it goes, rights management, collecting royalties, and tons more. It's kind of all in one spot. I mean, it's like having complete control over everything that happens to your music. I mean, if you think that musicians won't start flocking to this option and just, you know, to be able to manage the flow of where their music goes, who gets it, and also the monetizing everything about it, including, like we've been talking about, the digital artwork that they can create to boost even more sales. You're just simply fooling yourself if you think that's not going to happen, because musicians are trying to figure out a way to, you know, I mean, most musicians are just blindly throwing their music out. I know plenty of artists that are just blindly throwing their music out on Spotify or SoundCloud. I mean, SoundCloud, you really can't make anything. Well, SoundCloud actually does now have a monetization platform now. But, you know, Spotify, again, when you go to Spotify, you get like 0.000 whatever it is, you know, per stream. Or they can go this route and go with a platform like Symphony, where it's just kind of, they just control every single aspect of their music. I mean, and completely remove the middlemen and the labels in this process. And it's just know that's what's coming. It's coming, and artists and musicians are starting to learn about it. And as the older generation of musicians, I'm sorry, but Jeff Page and myself, we're kind of in this. We're woke in that regard.
Yeah. Old as hell. Yeah. Very.
We know what's coming, young whippersnappers. You know, but the new artists, as they're kind of coming on, you know, like Marcus, you know, that they get knowledgeable about NFTs out of the gate. Like that's what they know.
That's what they start with.
Yeah, that's what they start with. They're not starting with the old school system of music labels and distribution. This is where music is going to be this form of distribution. I mean, granted, I'm very, very happy with the resurgence of vinyl. I just think it's just so great, you know, with sounding and everything. And that's never probably ever going to stop. Just for it's just not going to stop.
Right.
But I'm telling you, this is where music is going to be going for sure. So we could talk about NFTs all night, but I'm super excited to take a timeout on NFTs. Actually, not a timeout. We're just going to push this to the side right now and talk about metaverses.
Yes.
So yeah, let's talk about metaverses for a second, because this shit is huge. This is huge. This is really, really big deal with metaverses. A really, really good friend, Funkatopian Cassandra Bradley, actually shared a news tip about Dolly Parton recently. We were talking about Dolly earlier, which is why Jaden came out and showcased her Dolly Parton shirt along with the new CD, Dolly's new CD called Run, Rose, Run. And let me just tell you, Dolly Parton went like friggin' all out, like ridiculously, like all out, all out. And I'm going to see if I can kind of, Jeff, maybe you could pull up that URL for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna talk about it while you're doing that. But but Dolly Parton released a brand new album called Run, Rose, Run, and she not only released an album, but she also teamed up with the legendary author James Patterson and James Patterson wrote a book called Run, Rose, Run, along with Dolly. And this album kind of serves as like, I guess, the theme for it, or the background music for it, or whatever. And she created a metaverse called Dollyverse, and basically, she is going to be streaming. She's actually going to be streaming her live show from South by Southwest via the blockchain on Creative Labs.
So tapped in.
Now listen, she is like Dolly. This is Dolly Parton we're talking about here. We're not talking. We are not talking. This woman's like, what's she, 80 now? Or she's like, this woman. Okay, so this woman gets it. She is totally in front of it. She is doing a live
stream. She's always
stream.
Been in it. Yeah,
she's always been in it. But she's doing a live stream, and she's doing an NFT drop. She's going to be doing this live show from South by Southwest. It's going to be happening on March 18th. And she is just, it's just, you know, it's unreal to me how this is already taking hold. And when somebody like Dolly, who is super in touch with all the old school folks, that, I mean, Dolly comes from the old school. I mean,
right.
I mean, she's like the old school, and Dolly is all in this.
Fully adopted.
Fully adopted. NFTs on the blockchain, doing the South by Southwest show live on this stream. And okay, so what does this mean? This basically means, you know, imagine the power that you can give to an artist or musician to create an entire world. And I wanted to let me just pull this up real quick. You know, I wanted to talk about some of these other things that are going on in this world, and I want to pull this up for you real quick. But we were talking about, just give me just 1 second. I'm going to pull this up because I want to show this to you too, because this is, everybody's familiar with Travis Scott, obviously. I mean, he's been in the news. He's been in the news quite a bit for a variety of different reasons. But the biggest reason, obviously, was because of everything that happened at the Astroworld concert. But the reality of it is that he had a huge. He did the whole metaverse thing for sure in the with
Fortnite, was it?
Well, no, this is called. I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll, and obviously I've got too many things going on, and my computer is being a little bit slow in here. But I am pulling it up right now. Sorry, but this is. Travis Scott, and I'm going to have to pull down the audio on this too. Same thing. Sorry, I'll pull this up.
All right.
Oh, Jason. Yeah, it's coming. Here it is right here. So basically, Travis Scott had this whole scenario where he created this world called Astronomical. And Astronomical was a live show that he had actually did where it was a live concert. You basically got to attend his concert in the metaverse, and you got to just jam out to his music, and he did this whole entire show. And it wasn't really like an insanely long show. I think it was like the show itself was probably only 10 minutes, but
yep.
You know, everybody was able to go into it and participate in the event and actually go into Astroworld, you know, same thing as his album cover here, and actually go in and participate in the whole metaverse, which was just insane. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of participation that you can get from this whole entire event. And
life-changing.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy to me the amount of, you know, stuff that can go into this. I'll stop the screen because obviously my computer I got way too many screens open, so I'm going to cut some of this stuff out. But that kind of gives you an idea of some of the things that are happening here. But let's not forget that also, Prince, we talked about the fact that Prince had done this before in the 90s. And I also want to pull up that example too, because once again, this was something where Prince was way, way, way ahead of his time with the Prince interactive video game, where you were able to walk through the whole entire place and, click on different books in walk through his whole entire house and click on paintings and click on a variety of different things throughout the house and be able to look at his catalog and just do all these different things all throughout his house. And you could just walk through and look at paintings and all these different things. This was in the 90s. This came out. I don't remember what the exact date. I may rely on Cami to kind of share this information, but this is like 94. I want to say 95. Well, this is actually Windows 98 that this is running on, but this video game came out somewhere in the mid 90s. And so he was already doing this like long ago.
Wow, man. Prince is always so tapped in.
Oh yeah. And this is 25 years ago at least. And that's just crazy to me that he was so far ahead of his time in doing this stuff. And, and so now all of a sudden it's become at least semi-regular practice. And it's insane. Everything, Marcus, we spoke at length on Friday, and you were telling me that there are ways out there for musicians and artists that can now start their own metaverses.
Yeah.
I want to kind of speak to any musicians and artists that are out there right now. If I'm an aspiring musician and an artist, and I want to start my own metaverse, you indicated to me that you could do this relatively easy. That there's some things out there that make it pretty attainable. What are some things that musicians and artists can do to start this process?
First, initially, I would say the first thing, if you are a musician or creative looking to build a metaverse, is to look for an animator or look for someone that's actually able to build out these spaces for you. Because the things that are out there are the applications to the VR application where you can upload these 3D objects into. But if you're a musician and if you want to have your own space or your own metaverse space, the first thing you step is to look for an animator or creator, or even learn it yourself to build it. So that you can upload it into applications. I'm going to show you guys a Spatial, which is a really cool application. I'm going to start having some business meetups, and I'm going to start having artist showcases here. I'm going to share my shop screen. I'm going to share my screen as well. And there's a multitude of VR applications. Spatial is just one because you can use your phone with it. You can use it with a VR headset as well. It says that I'm sharing everyone.
Yeah, it will. And I'm about to pull up the screen, but this is the part of the show, people, that I was telling you that I'm really, really excited about. I know that we've been getting really, really technical on you, and we're kind of talking about this, but this part of it right here is the part that you got to pay attention to. And Marcus is going to show you something, and then Jeff Page is going to say, here we go. All right.
So essentially, Spatial is a VR/AR application where you're able to build these spaces. You're able to go into and talk to people. I'm going to load up a space here. This is essentially where it is that I build spaces on. They don't have any legs, which is really weird, but this is my character. I'm able to go around, talk to people. I'm able to travel to different spaces. If artists have their art up, you're able to look at the art, click the art, magnify, zoom in. You're able to play the art all in the world. You're also able to have links next to your art where you're able to go to the actual NFT page to buy the art. It looks like there's no other people in here where I'm able to communicate, but it doesn't really matter because I'm on this chat. But you have different portals where you're able to travel to different worlds. But mind you that this entire space was made by a 3D animator. They made this Essentially what I do, we make these spaces in Blender or Unreal Engine, and we upload it to applications like Spatial to host and present our work. Cool thing about Spatial as well is that it has spatial audio. So like what is spatial audio? Is like is essentially audio that is like surround sound audio, but just like through like the advent of your headphones. So it's like I've been in these spaces where they have like performers, they have like their iRig connect to their phone, or even just like their studio monitor setup, and they're literally able to have like 4 performances in this thing. And since it's spatial audio, everyone in that entire space is able to hear what it is the musician is playing. I mean, granted, there are more VR applications like Neos VR and VR Chat where it shows more than just your body. But if I open that right now, being on this, it'll probably crash my computer because there's so much. It's a lot. VR Chat and Neos VR takes a lot of I guess computer power, which is the reason why I like Spatial a lot. Is because I can get on it on my phone. My grandma can get on it. I can get on it on my computer, and I can also get it on it in VR as well. So there are multiple different platforms. I just started off by Spatial because it's like a cool world building space. You're able to have like business conversations in here. You're able to play music in here. Like this is like a NASA showcase, where I guess they're NASA SpaceX showcase. I guess SpaceX is of NASA. Where this is just like a person that just made these models and they just threw them in this space. I guess just to display. I guess they're not trying to get any monetary gain, but yeah, it's really cool. You're also able to import like animated 3D objects as well. Yeah, 3D models is really cool.
Joshua OK was asking, what is the cost involved in something like this?
It's free. Spatial is free to upload in Spatial. It's free. The only thing that will essentially cost you any money is to work with a 3D animator or 3D designer. But uploading these different things to Spatial, it's completely free. There's like a free version, and there's like a $10 a month where you're able to like share or like have your room like hosted on the Spatial's front page. But I've been chill with the free version, and it's really, the barrier to entry is really low. This is the Polygon showcase. I remember you reading earlier in that article that I guess the Motley Fool was talking about, like the different type of blockchains and musicians selling it on Ethereum because the gas prices are so high. This is like a space of Polygon Alliance. So Polygon is basically free. It's almost free to mint. There's barely any gas fees on this blockchain. And this is all art displayed by Polygon artists. I love the Polygon community. My project will be released on the Polygon community, just because like the barrier to entry is really low, and because the community is really cool. This space was made by Creative Owls, and he's a really cool guy as well. So yeah, and I would say my predictions is that over these next couple years is gonna be a lot more VR. AR spaces that pop up during the time. I'm even working on my Webverse, which is where we're going to be to having our conversations in tomorrow. The Webverse is essentially the universe that I'm essentially building out, where the Webheads will essentially meet and we'll have like our congregations and our meetings and this, that, the other. And this is like a model based off of this. Now, as you can notice that there are essential like different versions, different qualities of it, which is the only thing I'm not the biggest fan of. But my hope is that as the years and things progress, there will be more, I guess, high definition virtual reality worlds that we're able to join in. And it'll be really similar to Ready Player One.
I would imagine that some of this has to do with the capabilities of, like, I think that when you enter into a lot of these programs, they look at what your resources are with your local computer and kind of make adjustments to some of the graphics. And obviously you have the capability of the graphics card in your computer and stuff as far as like what it displays. And, you know, it wants to be able to make it so that it's enjoyable enough for the experience itself. But on the same note, you know, so in order to kind of, you know, share with you some of the experiences, man, Marcus, thanks so much for showing that. That's friggin' awesome. Jeff, if you want to get ready, with showcasing what
Sure.
you showed me last night. One of the things that we were talking about, how you're able to tie this, how musicians can actually create these metaverses, and what they would actually do. So what you could technically do, and this is something that Funkatopia is working on, is we wanted to create a Funkatopia metaverse where people could actually come in and really, we've always kind of prided ourselves, because I've been doing Funkatopia for many years now. Funkatopia has been around since 2011. And even before that, we were doing, it used to be a website called slabmusic.com that started in 1997. So to kind of give you an idea of how long this entire project has been around, it's been around for a really long time. But Funkatopia has been around since about 2011. And during that period of time, kind of accumulated quite a bit of just a lot of interviews, a lot of album chats. We've pretty much talked about every single one of Prince's albums in length, covering the history and backgrounds of the album, every single track that's on every single album, and the history and what's behind it, who's playing on it, any significant stories about those things. And we are wanting to put together a metaverse for Funkatopia. And Jeff, want me to share your screen? Oh, you are on here. So this is basically a metaverse that Jeff has created. I'm actually going to make him solo. I think that should.
But he's in the VR headset.
Yeah, so this is he's actually using a VR headset, and we're basically he's created this multi metaverse that's really surrounded his JPM, his production studio, but he's also created this within what this is called multiverse, right? That's part of Facebook's
Facebook, the Oculus.
Yeah, Facebook's Oculus. Yeah. So now you can actually so essentially what we want to be able to do is be able to go into each individual room and like have album covers of all of Prince's albums that you can actually flip through, and you could click on it and actually listen to the album chat. Maybe we have some original artwork that I've actually taken at some shows. I've done some various shows, been to a lot of concerts, everybody from Migos to Jill Scott to George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic to The Revolution. We actually have original photography that I've taken that would actually be part of this whole metaverse that you can actually walk around in. And did you want to go? Can you go into like the Funkatopia area, Jeff?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
So basically, ignoring this world, this is my virtual home. This is where I hang out when I start. We're gonna go into the production studio. So once we go in there, what you can do in the virtual world in Funkatopia's ideas is a lot of meetings happen virtually. A lot of things happen in the virtual world, and we can pretty much meet with anyone. So as you can see over there, Funkatopia.com, Chris has his own office. So literally, he can come in and walk into the office with someone. I'll hop over there, and the person can have a seat,
That's awesome.
sit wherever they want, and he can actually do a presentation and talk about what's going on in this world, in the Funkatopia life. So what we did is we decided, let's take that further. Let's create a space for when we do our, like this show, Funkatopia Live, and have a place where people can actually go watch the show. Now this is in the beginning, the beta stages of what we're laying out, just so you guys can get an example. But if we go into the Funkatopia Live room from our lobby, you'll see it's a terrace actually, and it takes a few minutes to load, but we're going to be sitting outside, and it's actually pretty nice. You can sit anywhere. And while we're hanging out, the actual show will be broadcasting live here. So people, avatars, all of you be here online. We can interact. We can talk just like we are now and be watching the show. And like I said, there's we decided to shell out, get a nice place for everyone if you want to get a nice view.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from this world, sometimes, you got people watching whatever's happening on the live show, but then you got people who may not want to be out here or in this space particularly. We also have a home, our apartment. So Funkatopia has its own place. And if you go into Funkatopia's home, again, we can socialize. You can have more people hang out. And up here, we'll probably have a video playing, maybe the album chats, the things that people want to see. And, little pieces of art and little things that are going on. This is actually one of the homes I own in the metaverse. And out on the balcony, of course, there's other homes, but this one I chose because it's got less activity around me. So, and then finally, the place that we all really wanted was to have all of the people be able to see the art and see the records and see what's happening and interact. And so we created a Funkatopia gallery. So we're going to go over to the Funkatopia gallery. And in here, when you come in, now you've got everything you want to see. It's funk. It's everything you want. We got Prince Welcome to America. We've got pictures, artwork on the walls. When you approach the art, we'll have it where you can either read information or click something and hear music or whatever's going on with this particular art. So we set up this gallery where you can go through and enjoy all the different people that are involved in funk itself. Our own pictures, Chris's own pictures, his own work, or professionals, artists. But this kind of stuff is where the NFT market comes in. It becomes a gallery and a showcase place where someone can see, oh man, Funkatopia took this picture. I really want to own this picture. We turned it into an NFT. You can own the original. No one else will have the original. You own it, and it can be resold, whatever.
Right, because some of this photography that's on the wall here are actual original photography that I took at these different shows. So he's showcasing this, and that's one of the examples of ways that if you wanted to own that picture, you could own that picture, and you can purchase it via NFTs if you wanted to. And it is again, the whole point of this is that we have such a huge library of content, from interviews. Like if you wanted to go down there and click on that Bootsy Collins picture, you can click on that Bootsy Collins picture and it would show you, maybe it would pull up the YouTube video of the interview that we did with Bootsy Collins. We have the interview with Bootsy Collins. You could sit and watch that, or if you wanted to click on an album cover of Prince's, we could absolutely click on an album cover of Prince's and listen to the whole album chat. Everything is going to be in this universe. And obviously, as you can see, Jeff's been insanely hard at work creating this metaverse, but there's a lot of interactivity that I don't know that Facebook is going to allow us to do, but he's investigating other means and stuff, because there's some interactivity that you were talking about on Spatial. Like Spatial gives you the capability to be able to walk up to an image and click play, and it plays some type of audio clip or whatever. And I think right now, I don't know if Facebook is in like some kind of preliminary stages about the capabilities or whatever. I think Jeff, you can speak a little bit more to that about what they can and cannot do in here.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of legalities issues with what's going on out here. Basically, if you do not own the material, that's where they're starting. If it's not yours, you can't resell it. You can't do things like that. If you don't have permission to use copyrighted stuff, you can't just put it out there. This room and this area that we're in is private. It's not a public room that everyone can go to. If you're a friend of mine, I can give you access. You can come in, we can hang out, we can look at it, we can do it. And literally, I have access where I can go in and I can pull up something and say, hey, let's go to the Funkatopia live room. And now, boom, you click it and you join me. We go into the room if you don't know where it is. So we have access to be able to do things. But as this changes, the NFT value comes in when you make arrangements with whoever owns the original artwork. Now they can sell it in your place, in your space. So we can all benefit from this NFT. Somebody owns this, and we help them move the product, and they give us permission at that point. So that's where you end up going, and that's how we want to get things moving.
I'm thinking of like metaverse art dealers, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. I was in a Discord group. It was with the Arpeggi group, all that new software and all that stuff. And they're really pushing producers getting the music together and getting attached with artists, and they're meeting artists, and they're getting these things moving forward. And that's really where the value increases, because you've got the people who love the art, and art moves and resells more than anything.
Yeah.
More than anything. And so,
and this is all going to go down to technology, and as far as its capabilities and stuff, because remember when Netflix first came out, a lot of people didn't think that was really going to happen, because it just felt like it wasn't able to be grasped, because the technology, as far as the bandwidth that was involved with streaming movies, was it just couldn't keep up. But as technology progresses every single day, I mean, think about where computers were at, just even 15, 20 years ago. It's unreal. This type of technology is going to be very, very accessible, and this is just going to be, it can be a little bit laggy when there's a lot of images
stuff
and
in the
imagery and stuff going on. But the reality of it is that I guarantee you next year this will be a totally different thing. This will all be very, very smooth, and it'll be quick. It's just going to be ridiculous. So
exactly.
That's really kind of the vision that we have for it's just going to be about just like Andrew says, it's going to be about the advancement of the technology. But yeah, that is ultimately what our vision is for what we're doing with Funkatopia. And the reality of it is that we have so much original content. Like the album chats are original content. I mean, the legalities about whether or not we can show an album cover, I don't think there's any issues with that. We're not selling the album cover. They're simply just displaying it, and they can click on it and watch or listen to an album chat, and be able to hear different things. And that's ultimately what the whole purpose of this part is about. We have interviews, we have all kinds of stuff that can be accessed. So that's really cool. We've been trying to accomplish with this, and this is where music is going. I just don't. And people are just going to just have to see
adapt.
Yeah, people are just going to have to adapt for sure. But man, and in 5 to 10 years, this is going to be reality. And you guys are going to, not us, but some of the folks that are watching this show are going to look back on this show and be like, man, they said it was coming, and it's coming.
It is fast.
So we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up this episode. We are going to talk about some news and stuff on the backside of this, but to wrap up this segment for the NFT, metaverses, and the future of music, I'll just kind of give you guys a little bit of a closing statement regarding this technology and where you think the music is going to go in the NFT and metaverse world, and where people should go. I mean, what should artists do to get on the front side of this? I guess that's the biggest question. And what can people do as listeners and fans? What can we do to kind of prep for this onslaught of digital?
Make a MetaMask wallet. Make a MetaMask wallet.
Yeah,
make a crypto wallet.
Too. This is actually really important that you said this, because in this Dollyverse thing, with Dollyverse, she said if you want to watch the show, you need to create a wallet first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it literally is. And I don't know if we had that. Let me pull that back up, because it was just on here. I'm going to pull this back up. This was part of this, and I'm going to share this real quick, just so you can see it. When we were on this site, when you go to click to get started, the first thing it does is pop up. It says create a wallet.
Create a wallet. And then the interesting thing is that is like the individual wallet, like for the Dollyverse wallet. I think that's an interesting thing I haven't really saw a lot, because there was only like Coinbase wallets, MetaMask wallets, but now you're actually able to create a wallet for that actual project, which is pretty crazy.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's really smart. That's like a really I guess like the back end smart contract stuff. Is they're growing. That's really I love the, because it almost is like more. It's like once you have to create a MetaMask wallet, this, that, the other, you're still kind of having to have a middleman there, even though it's decentralized. But like the more artists that are making their own Web3 websites where they're actually able, like, okay, you guys have to mint on this website. You have to have your wallet on this website in order to get what it is, like this digital good that I'm selling you. That's I think Dolly's out of the game on that.
She is.
Yeah, Dolly's out of the game.
Yeah. And then the second piece, they have to be aware of, like you said, it's about the contract, because you can buy something, but if you don't read the contract, you find out you own a piece of it.
Yep.
You don't actually own the item.
Yep.
So you own a piece, the item can do whatever it does, and you're just a part of it, or you own the actual copyrights to all of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do I own the master or am I just on the song, you know? So
Andrew brings up a good point. The best thing to do that you guys can do to get ready for this is to have the latest and greatest process. You need to make sure that you have some good graphics cards, because you have no idea what is going on behind the scenes at some of your favorite. I mean, Travis Scott has already proven that, you know, the young generation of musicians are already on this bandwagon, and they're going to be coming at you. And if you want to be able to experience things, like for every single 10,000 people that were watching that live concert online, there was probably about 30,000 people that could not get on because their computers couldn't handle it.
They crashed, and yes, absolutely.
Or they crashed. So what I can tell you is that if you want to be able to experience music and to experience some of these worlds, buy yourself an Oculus or something, because Oculus is pretty inexpensive. They're like $299. Yeah, it's like $200 or $300. You can buy an Oculus Quest 2 and get comfortable in the metaverse. It's really, and it's also really good exercise too, if you want to, you know.
I work out in the Oculus every morning.
Yeah, you can actually do all kinds of stuff. You can do yoga and meditation, and it's actually very, very physical. But the whole point of it being is that you could have this and be able to access these worlds, because these worlds are out there, and these things are popping up. As far as creating a wallet, how do we get, like, if I wanted to attend this Dolly concert, explain to people, Marcus, explain to people how you would create a wallet. What is creating a wallet? Am I like putting my credit card on file? What's happening?
No. So creating a wallet essentially will give you your, at least through MetaMask, the advent is through MetaMask. I didn't do it through Dolly, obviously, but whenever you create a wallet on an application like MetaMask, it asks you for like your personal information. It usually asks for your email, honestly, weirdly, but they give you like a private key and they give you a public key. Like they give you the private key for you to have for yourself, or you should never give it away. Yeah. Do you have a password? Welcome back. So you have to, I guess you have to pin your password. So pin your password and everything, and they will give you your private key and your public key. Never give away your private key, but your public key would be essentially where the metadata of the NFT will be stored at. So if you have like a MetaMask, but if you also have like a Coinbase wallet, you will essentially be able to transfer that NFT from said wallets based off of that public key, or based off of the metadata of the NFT, because you own it essentially. It's in your wallet. So you're able to like integrate the items in your wallet from different wallets. It's literally just like you're taking cash out of one wallet and you're putting it into like another wallet. It's kind of the same things, but in order to actually do that, you would have to use your public key, which I feel like that sounds meta as well to people that haven't even made a wallet yet. But you don't have to put a credit card information. It's which is actually should be a sign, like a sign of relief that you don't have to put your credit card information or anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the wallet is literally, think of it as a wallet. Do not lose your password.
Yeah.
Do not lose your private keys, because gone is
so
gone.
you just basically, you open up a wallet and you basically, I don't have anything in here, but
it's fine. Yeah, I don't need it.
Yeah. So you basically just open up a wallet, you create something like with MetaMask, and it just allows you to be able to get in and access these different types of events. And there may be opportunities that may present themselves that you can actually, buy different things and purchase different things. And it's just,
right.
There's a whole world and universe that's going to be coming at you, and you're going to be blindsided by it if you're not ready for it.
Yep.
Right. The missing understanding of. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to ask Jeff Page. I was going to ask you, go ahead and tell musicians, and Marcus, you may be able to speak to this too. Tell musicians how they can actually prepare for this too. How can a musician or an artist start this process? So like, okay, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, and I really want to make sure that I get in on this. I don't even know where to even freaking start. Is there a guide somewhere? Where do I start? What do I buy? How do I get into this? What would be your suggestion? We'll start with Jeff Page, and I'll let Marcus, I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, there are lots of places to research to get this started, but the whole point is, once you have your product, it's the same thing. It's a digital product. You first need to create. Now, again, I don't want to. It goes too deep when we start getting into the terminologies of everything, but you're minting, and basically you're creating the NFT item. So if you want to sell a single, I created a song, I turn it into an NFT, and I limit exactly how many there are of the single. For example, Liv Warfield, she did that awesome live album. Now, if she had turned that into an NFT and decided, I'm only going to make 500 of those, now everybody's going to want that album just because they can't get it, despite the fact that it's a brilliantly done, and it was, an amazing piece of work on its own. The fact that it's such a rare item has increased the value of it. So as a musician, you want to make sure you're thinking in those terms, or thinking in terms of, just like it's a sync license. Think of sync and all those things. You're attaching the music to something else that moves.
It's kind of like that Wu-Tang album. That Wu-Tang album that one guy has. There's only one copy of that Wu-Tang album. It's not an NFT, but the fact of the matter is like it's So but as far I just do a search and find out how to create NFTs and kind of dig, because we don't want to get to the technology part of it here, because
there's a lot of because there is money involved. There's financial investments that you have to make to move these things, to create these things, gas fees, all those things. There's a lot involved, but it's not hard. It's just you follow the steps just like anything else.
And like where there's money, there has to be some law, and you have to get that's the biggest thing that I stress, and I also hear from people in the NFT space that made a lot of money from it, is to get your lawyers, get everything lined up, especially if you're a musician or an artist that actually has a backing behind you, that's actually able to invest in what it is you're doing. Because there is a lot of different trepidations in terms of the smart contracts. I've seen it where it's some fans or some people get mad at the artist because they thought they owned something but they didn't, and it's it creates a riff, and it's social integrity, but it's do I get a lawyer for this? Do I what so when Chris, when we were at that ATO NFT, we were talking, and that was that the NFT lawyer that was speaking.
Yes,
those are going to be very, very handy in these next couple of years, for musicians, for artists, for anyone looking to put out NFT projects, because there's going to constantly be, I guess, new rules and regulations in this field. And I feel like artists and musicians, we really go into things with man, we want to get paid, we want to get our stuff sold, but we don't like to think of the logical, law advent side of it. And that's that's a really new space. but that's something to do as much research on as you're doing as uploading things, getting a wallet. Like look at like NFT laws, like what are the laws in these smart contracts? Like learn how to read. If you're a musician or artist, learn how to read a smart contract because they're not hard. Like it's completely different than a regular record label contract. It's relatively easy. Like learn the small tech, the small law side behind it, so that you as a musician, your artist, you're more secured in the space. Because they granted you don't have to have like a huge team behind you, because the record label, this, that, the other, that entire model was dying out. But then again, even the record labels are going to be able to, they're going to be tilting because they're not going to lose. They're not going anywhere. Record labels aren't just going to like just
No.
throw in the white flag. They're going to have to transform their platforms into being more accommodating to NFT artists as well. So you being an NFT artist, you being a musician, this, that, the other, that is looking to sign to a NFT record label, you're still going to have to know the lingo of Web 2, Web 3, whatever it is. So the law is a huge thing as well.
Yeah, record labels are definitely coming around. Yeah, Joshua brings up, somebody else talked about Death Row 2 earlier. Snoop has actually bought Death Row Records, and he's actually converting a lot of that stuff into an NFT record label. Wow. So he is, so that whole entire, so Snoop Dogg is already in this, and he's purchased Death Row Records, and what's going to end up happening is that everything that was on there that he has acquired is going to end up in this realm. So the way that they sell music is going to end up being totally different, and it's coming. It's already here, and you just need to be ready for it. It's just, I just can't even. It's just, oh my God. I can't thank you enough, Marcus, for coming on the show and sitting with us. If somebody wants to reach out to you and find out some more information about the Webheads, they can go to webheads.io, which is webheadz.io, and you can reach out to Marcus.
Discord. The Discord is the biggest thing. Join the Discord. Because we're constantly growing, we're constantly scaling. We have an introduce yourself tab, and we're learning. We are really, the Webheads is essentially just a community of musicians, creative coders. We have some entertainment lawyers in there as well. So we're starting to get like the law side on there stacked, but also education. The other thing is we want to educate people that's coming into the sphere, this Web3 NFT sphere. So it's like our community is really, really sick and really, really tight. And if you want to learn anything more about the project, I would say join the Discord. Yeah, and that's on the webheads.io. Yeah, and that's Discord is Discord. Yeah. Is there a specific subdomain that you guys are on? Is it? I think Discord. I don't think Discord allows you to have like individual. You have to. It's like a ranking system. You have to rank up to in order to get. It's a ranking system. But if you go to like the bottom of webheads.io, the Discord is there, and the in chat is there as well. I added that function. So.
All right, Marcus, we will be in touch. Please, absolutely, give me a call tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more because I'm sure Marcus will end up being a part of the Funkatopia world at some point.
Yeah,
in time,
absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, Marcus. Can't thank you enough. Webheads.io. That's webheadz.io. Check it out if you want to join the Webheads world and kind of learn more about this. And especially if you're a musician, these guys will welcome you in as family and kind of help you through the process and lead you in the right direction, because this is the new power generation.
Here it is. Yep. You got it.
This is it. Marcus, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, man. Boom.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Shout out Christian. Shout out Jay.
Yeah, man.
All right, brother. We'll talk tomorrow.
Peace out.
All right. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, it's been a really cool show, man, because it's just a lot of information. It's something that you will be it's coming, and it's coming at a fierce rate.
It's here, and it's growing so fast. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, anyone who doesn't see it, at some point you won't be able to not notice it. That's it's just
it's just buried with everything. I mean, I know everybody's the main thing that people are kind of hearing about are the cryptocurrencies and things like that, but there's so everything that's involved in that world is just
Yeah, I would say the thing is you want to move forward. So at some point, when you go to the virtual world, you don't have to just buy stuff. Go there, look, like get an Oculus or a Rift, or like somebody mentioned a couple of other ones. It doesn't really matter. The only thing about the Oculus that made it valuable like that is because it doesn't need to be attached to a PC. You know, that's the
Right.
big selling point.
It was
But
self-contained,
I still connected for some things. But the point is, once you start seeing the metaverse and understanding how things work in that world, then you'll start appreciating things. Like you'll see the Funkatopia world, and you hang out and you'll meet people, and then it becomes less threatening. Then you'll start learning, oh, I need to buy something. I need coins. This many coins cost this much in US dollars. Now I own coins. You know, all kinds of things will start to happen, but it's not something that you just have to dive into and do anything crazy. Just, you know, come into the world and just say hello. And then, you know, the rest will take care of itself. That's what I say.
And as I said, it will be coming around for sure. So we are going to be now talking real briefly about some news, because the news is very, very important as well. A lot of the stuff that you guys want to talk about. For instance, let's go ahead and recap what we know about the Morris Day and the estate debacle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we already did a whole entire show on Morris Day and everything that was going on with the estate. And ultimately, basically, what had transpired was the estate had reached out to Morris Day and had a conversation that they believed was amicable, and talked about the fact that they were now going to be imposing some, I guess, trademark rules as far as his ability to be able to use the name The Time, or even Morris Day and The Time.
Right.
And he went online and he obviously posted the big diatribe on his Facebook page about the fact that they were no longer allowing him to use the trademark of Morris Day and The Time. And apparently the only updates to this that we've heard is that Primary Wave, who will be acquiring all these rights and all these, you know, it's going to be acquiring the properties. They are on the side of Morris Day. So that's really kind of the only update that's really going on right now, is that Primary Wave said this whole thing is ridiculous. We are going to be acquiring, you know, those properties, and when it does, everything does kind of end up over in our court. We're just going to you know, we're going to let Morris just continue his thing because it's his name. And when he goes out and he performs, more people go out and buy the album. And when more people go out and buy the album, then we make money. So this doesn't make any sense to be imposing this type of, you know, this type of ridiculousness on somebody like Morris. So it is what it is. So
yeah.
you know, I'm okay with that update. So another thing is, once again, I want to make sure we do a happy birthday to Brown Mark. 60th birthday today. 60th birthday today.
60. Wow.
That's a big one. It
really is.
We got 7 years to go, man.
40 years away from that, but you know.
Sure you are. Well, I know that I am 7 years away from that. But you know, I don't feel like, I mean, I see other people that are my age. I see other people that are 53 years old, and I go, God, what you doing? Like, I know what I did to myself when I know everything that I did in my 20s and my teens. And I'm just like, it's got to be genetics, dude. It's got to be genetics.
Yeah. You know, we start getting up in the years, and then I think back to when I was younger, looking at someone else who's the age I am now, and I'm like, wow, I used to be like, damn. And now I'm like, damn.
Yeah, so I look at some of my kids, like I look at my 19-year-old, and, you know, she's just kind of got the way that she kind of views things, and it's like, you have no idea. You just don't have any idea. You just don't. But yeah, huge happy birthday to Brown Mark for sure. But one of the things that I wanted to pull up, because this is something that was interesting. Apparently, last year, quietly, the estate quietly updated a bunch of trademarks, like some a little bit more unusual than others. And I definitely want to share this screen because this is really something that's very interesting to me that I was just a little bit surprised over. So I'm going to pull this up so you guys can kind of follow along with me. So to start off, Paisley Park Enterprises, this is their trademark applications under the USPTO trademark and patent filings. And obviously we knew some of these that were, I think this is page 3. It is page 3. So, different ways that it's written. So not even just like the symbol itself, but if there's any, this is almost kind of going to the NFT thing, right? It's like, even if there's any small variation that's even not even visible to the eye that you can't see, they're trademarking it. So we expected to see all these trademarks, obviously. Now, this is what we were talking about before when they were putting their foot down about Morris Day and the Time, is that, this back in 2017, they trademarked NPG, which was already trademarked, but for some reason they re-trademarked it again. Same thing with Paisley Park and everything else. But here's some things that I found interesting as I was scrolling down. Obviously, the way that it's written, the length of it, the height of it. Prince Tribute. So there's some interesting ones in there that, and why? What's and why? I don't know what that's about. And why? Then they did it a couple times. And why? Androgyny. What's that? I don't even know what that is. Good question. How did they trademark? Good question. There's some really
things are coming.
Yeah, there's some really weird. That's the other thing I thought too, was that sometimes they trademark these things. Thinking, now this is the one that got my attention. The fact that they trademarked Maserati. That's Brown Mark's band name. He named the band. And somehow Paisley Park was able to trademark. This is Paisley Park Enterprises Incorporated, was able to trademark Maserati and Nasty Six. Well, I don't even know what that is. The Family, obviously. Amarna Vision. I don't even know what that is.
Wow.
So there's some here. Amarna Vision, Amarna Sound, New World Records, 3121. There's some of these fingerprints. So there's some interesting ones in here that you kind of wonder why this is necessary. Now, they redid the symbol again because this was back from 1992, but then I guess maybe there's a certain period of trademark that sits. I don't know what it is. Anyways, but
wow,
this is kind of Prince Vault, MPG Music Club, Prince the Immersive Experience. That was one of the showcases or something that they did. The Prince Experience. There's that. Paisley Park Records, Prince and Revolution. Some of these really kind of made me stop. All the different versions of Sign of the Times, all the different variations on the symbol. Prince and Third Eye Girl, Club Paisley. That was in here. All the different variants of Sign of the Times that were in here. Jamie Starr.
Okay.
The Prince Estate Official and Approved. That's trademarked. Musicology, Real Music by Real Musicians, along with, and I think page 2 actually had a Real Music by Real Musicians. They trademarked that as well. For You, a symphonic celebration of Prince. That was the whole symphony thing that they did back then. But then they also trademarked, the guitar examples, some of the guitar things and some of these symbolic images. Cloud guitar, Rekisto. They actually trademark Rekisto. Starfish and Coffee, PRN. Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things in here, but the one that obviously got my attention was the trademark for beautiful ones too. The ones that got my attention was obviously Maserati.
Maserati.
That one was really a shocker to me as to how they were able to trademark Maserati spelled that way. I just think it's interesting that they were able to do that. I don't know.
Wow.
It seems.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I got nothing. That's just wow. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really strange. Yeah, so that was something that I saw, and I was just like, happy 60th birthday to our good friend Mark Brown, aka Brown Mark.
Mark.
But if he would have made on the show, I absolutely would have asked him about that. I would have said, "What's going on with that?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just, just weird. April said they should go for Apollonia for using Apollonia Studio 6 as her YouTube podcast. What it's called Apollonia Studio 6, not Apollonia 6, though. Apollonia is her name. That's her stage name. But, Morris Day is also his name.
Right.
Now, Andrew says, was Maserati overstepping? No, Maserati was a band before Prince was even involved.
Right. They were.
Yeah, Maserati was Mark's band that he actually put together. They actually wrote a bunch of music. They actually Maserati was Mark's project, and then Prince. He actually was trying to do Maserati in the background without Prince knowing, because he knew that if Prince found out about it, that Prince would take it over and just make it his own thing, kind of like he did with The Family. Well, obviously The Family was his project, but he would take different projects and just make them his. And that's pretty much what apparently seems to here's some interesting. P-Funk said, did you hear Van Hunt's first album is going to be released on vinyl for the first time? That'd be awesome.
Wow.
That's a great friggin' album. That's a really, really good album. I would love to see On the Jungle Floor released on vinyl, because that album is insane too. But yeah, his first album is a masterpiece for sure.
Wow.
And then the last bit of news that we had is the app update. I know a lot of people were wondering about the app, what's going on with the app. So I'm pleased to announce that the app is complete. The app is done. There are a couple of pieces, a couple of items that are not done with the album, with the app. Sorry, I was looking at the album thing again. One of the issues that we're having with the app is that it's not taking the artist and the song title and pushing it out to the Bluetooth devices. So like if you have the app playing in your car, it's not displaying the artist and the song title correctly.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of at a point where I just said, look, I'm willing to sign off on this app because everything else about the app is done. The ability to purchase individual songs, the ability to switch between the two radio stations, the Purple Yoda Radio and the new Funked Up app, all that is done. It's completed. It's finished. You can also donate via Venmo and Cash App. You can also join on Patreon. You can go to the different Funkatopia properties on Facebook, on Twitter, the actual website. You can go to the blog. You can do all that stuff. So for me to hold up the app at this point, just because of the fact that it's not properly communicating the songs titles to the thing, look, I'm just kind of at the point where I'm just like, let's just get this app out there and let people use it. And then I will find a developer. I told him, I said, I will sign off on it if you give me the code for the app and any, and so that I can have another developer come in here and fix that. So right. The only two things that are missing are that seems to be a little bit of a quirk that they got to work around. And the other thing is the ability to do song request. So that is, I wanted the capability for people to be able to click on the song request and actually go to, click on the song request and actually be able to have it automatically happen in the system.
Shuffled there, yeah. Okay.
But one of the things that I'm always seeing too on the song requests that we're receiving now is that a lot of the song titles aren't correct. Like, like if you put "sexy mother" and you spell it out, it's not going to play your request because that's not the name of the song. The name of the song is "Sexy MF," and the artist is Prince. And that's the other issue too, is that if the artist and the song title is not exactly the same, the system is not going to automatically do it for you because it can't match it up. It's got to match up. And some things make it even more difficult, like with Plectrum Electrum, it's Prince and Third Eye Girl. And Third Eye Girl, and it's like the ampersand and Third Eye Girl is all together, and we're going to be able to replace Funkatopia.com/funk-radio. We're going to be able to replace that code. So we have a full operational thing there where you can do the song requests and everything. But as far as the app is concerned, I just told him I will sign off on the app and I'll get those two other things with the song request and the DCS part of it where it sends the artist and song information up to the radio. I will handle that with another developer. Let's just get this app out.
Right.
That's what I want.
Right.
Jaden loves when I do that. When I edit myself, let's just get the app out. She was like, "Why do you do that?" It was like, it keeps me from saying the word. Those are minor technical things because the fact of the matter is that I'm telling you that the app is super cool. Just so you know, this is the. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on a second.
It's not on. It's only Android though, right?
No, it's on Android and iPhone.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but I can't. Yeah, I can't push the. Hold on a second. There is. Where is it? Oh crap.
Display it and share it online.
Yeah, I actually have a. Hold on a second. I actually have a video of the app in operation.
Oh, beautiful.
So I could actually show that to you so you could actually check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah, so while I'm pulling that up, and I'm curious to hear, what other people's feedback is on some of that stuff. He did send, oh, holy shenanigans. All right, so I just got notification that he did upload the app to iPhone and Android. So I'm letting everybody know right now that the app is already uploaded to the Google Play and the Apple Store. So the only thing that's going to happen right now is that now they just got to do their verification processes. And as long as the verification processes go through, it could be as early as tomorrow, you can download the update for the app and it will be there.
Sweet.
So the app, I mean, it could be, I don't know if it's verified now, but that's crazy. So right now I'm trying to scroll up to where he gave me the video because I wanted to show you the video, which is actually really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's really cool. The app is out. It's out there right now. And it's going to be I don't know why it's so difficult for me to find this video. I guess because we talked a lot. Oh, there. That's it. Yeah, there it is. Let me download this and play this for you guys. All right. So here's a little bit of how it operates, just to kind of show you.
Sweet.
I'm going to show you, and I don't know. I don't think this has any audio with it. I don't think that it does. But this is. Oh, it actually does. So this is the actual. This is actually. It's got Funked Up. It's got the website. It's got the storefront, so you can actually buy merchandise. I can actually turn down the volume on this because I don't want to get any thing. But yeah, you can actually scroll through and click on Purple Yoda Radio. You can click on Funked Up, so you'll be able to switch between either one of them. You can go to the website, you can go to the store, you can donate via the Cash App, and you can also click on become a member. There was another video that he had that actually showed him clicking through everything. Is that like not the same video? I guess it's not.
Is it not? It won't play, or it did play. That's it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't doing anything. But anyways, well, I can just show you one here. But basically, so you have. I'll stop sharing this, unless I get kicked off. Am I frozen up?
Oh.
Am I frozen up? Hold on, I'm going to stop sharing here real quick. If I can. I don't want to end the broadcast. If it's going to end up kicking me out of the studio. If I can stop this stupid ass video. All right, hold on a second. Can you? Am I just frozen and you can hear me, but you can't see?
No, you're still alive.
I'm still alive, which is really weird because I'm seeing everything frozen. So, can you actually see my screen if I show this?
I see your screen. Your screen is moving really slow, but I see you showing your app on your phone. Everything's still there.
All right. Well, that's kind of weird.
So,
all right. Well, no. Oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, let me remove this. Remove it. Go away. All right, good. There we go. All right. So this is the actual Funked Up app, and it's if you have the Funked Up app already on your phone and you download the update, which will be available any day now, you will actually, it's going to change it to look like this. And then sweet. I will go into a solo view here so you can actually see this, but basically it's going to look like this. And you're going to have the capability to actually be able to scroll. And if you want to donate via the Cash App or Venmo, you can go to the YouTube channel. You can listen to all the interviews and stuff on SoundCloud, Twitter, and Facebook. Also Instagram as well, so you can see some photos and whatnot. You can choose which radio station you want to listen to. If you want to listen to the 24/7 Prince, all you got to do is just click on Purple Yoda Radio, and it will start playing. The album. I got it on mute right now, but right now it's playing Cosmic Day, obviously. And then, of course, if you wanted to go back, you can go back. And you wanted to, you had enough of Prince, then you can click on Funked Up. I think I just clicked on that one again. You can go back and click on Funked Up, and then it will switch to the Funked Up radio station where you can just listen to 24/7 Funk. Now it's the same. It's not the same stream as Funked Up from before. It's a different stream that plays a bunch of different music and whatnot. And of course, if you want to join to become a Patreon supporter, you can also up here, you can also join to become a Patreon supporter. If you click on that, it will take you to Patreon, and you could join the Funked Up Patreon thing. Everything is there. And as I just said, it is uploaded. It is in the stores right now. So as soon as it is verified, it will download and your app will change. And that could happen as early as tonight. I don't know when he uploaded it. According to him, he uploaded it. It was uploaded at 7:40. So I don't know how long the verification process, but it's already been in the system for 3 hours right now. So that means that at some point tonight,
I just went to the App Store to see if it would show me an update or show me something, and it's still not.
Yeah, so there's a verification process at Google Play and Apple Store. Apple's a little bit more stringent, but Apple and Google Play are both going through the verification processes right now, but the app is up there, and once your Funked Up app updates, you're going to have 24/7 Prince radio station, and you're going to have the other 24/7 Funked Up station. That's going to be a different stream than the one that's streaming from here. And when that happens, then I can go back to normalcy on my computer here, because a lot of people don't know this, but the radio station is broadcasting from my computer here, and that's a huge pain in the ass. I'll just tell you that, because I can't play video or I can't do anything on this computer that contains audio because it will bleed over onto the radio station. Right. So I had to be really, really particular about what I'm doing on this computer, and that'll be really, really great for that to stop. So everything is online now. What now?
Yeah. I said, you get your computer back.
Yes, I get my computer back, so I can start preparing it for the metaverse.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and the other thing too is that Jaden came and this is an old Star Wars comic book that she brought in that I gave her a long time ago because she was into Star Wars.
Wow.
And so I gave. Yeah, it's in there and everything, and it's the 001 too.
What? You know, I had that.
Hey, look what I found, Daddy. Like,
I had a 001. I had the first copy.
Andrew says he just downloaded it. Is it already available for Android?
What?
Oh my God! If it's already, hold on a second. Let's see if it's already. And again, it's overriding the Funked Up app. So let's see if app info. Let me see if I will double check and see if it is.
Not in my world.
I mean, Andrew. Oh, Andrew said he's downloading it for iPhone. Well, if it says Funked Up, then it's not the latest one.
Right.
If it's not Funked Up, if it says Funked Up, then it's not the latest one. It will change your icon to the purple Yoda radio logo. Cami says she's in the new one on iPhone. Oh, Cami, are you on Android or are you on iPhone? I think Cami's on Android, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's okay. It'll happen. I'll be looking out for it.
Cami will tell me which one, but it's. We did it. We did it. So Cami's on Android. Cami's on Android said that it's the new one.
Yeah, Andrew said he just downloaded on iPhone, so it's there.
I don't have an iPhone. I'm gonna uninstall Funked Up right now, and I'm gonna get it again, and see if it's see if it definitely is the new one. Install. Let's see if it just keeps the old Funked Up logo. He may have done it that way too, because I told him, I said, if it wants you to maintain the Funked Up logo, yep, it's the new one. It's the new one. So if you're on Android, you can get the app right now. If you're on Android, you can get the app right now. And what I had to do, Jeff Page, is that I had to delete it, and then I went and reinstalled it, and it's the new one.
Makes sense. Awesomeness. Awesome.
I need somebody to verify on iPhone that they can do it. But
all right.
There it is, man. There it is. It's there. Somebody says they're on iOS. Cami, you may have been the first. I don't know. Somebody has somebody said they got the brand new one for iOS.
Yeah, Andrew said he got it, right? So, all right, let's see. I'm about to do it.
Android said it's the Funked Up, but it has the same Funked Up logo, so I was wrong. Oh no, it changed it to the purple Yoda radio logo.
It did?
Yeah, it did. Android says it's still Funked Up on iOS, but for Android folks, it's there. So that means the iOS is going to be there very, very shortly.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's there. It's done. Wow.
You heard it here first.
I wasn't even planning to even share that information.
Right. You're here. This is now. This is the metaverse.
I literally went on this thing to download that video so I could show you guys how it operates, and I saw the message from him saying, I uploaded it.
Did it sound like that? I uploaded it. Hey, dude.
That's what I envisioned him sounding like. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Based on our discussions.
Yikes.
Oh
yeah,
my God. Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys got it. You wanted the 24/7 Prince radio station. Guess what? You got it. And it's free now. It's free. So if you're on Android, what you got to do is uninstall Funked Up and then go and find Funked Up again and re-download it, and it will be the new Purple Yoda radio. It should be showing up as an update, but apparently
yeah, well, either way, we know we can get it now.
And let me just go ahead and say that, if you do download the app, please make sure that if you're not a Patreon supporter, you become a Patreon supporter. Donate, please, via Cash App, Venmo, or become a Patreon supporter. Buy merch, all those things, because that's the only reason we're going to be able to keep this for free. Because, as I told you, the Cami said she didn't uninstall. All right, well.
Cammy's special.
We know that.
I mean, we know that for sure.
We know that for a fact.
Right?
Yeah. And wow, it's there. It's there. Right now. It's right now. It's there. Unfriggin' believable. I don't want to make the announcement on Funkatopia.com or on Facebook until iOS gets installed, because when I did the questionnaire, are you on Android or iPhone? Like 75% of them were on iPhone and 25% were on Android.
Right.
I'm on Android just because I love the iPhone. I had an iPhone. I like them. I like how everything is just there, and it works with everything. Like, it works with my Mac. Everything just works together seamlessly. But I also like Android because of the renegade of it. It's just, you can do so much. It's just, you can install all these, developer apps that don't have to go through any type of. It's got some really cool features and stuff. So.
Yeah, and I've used both as well, and I like them both. I use the iPhone more because that's what I have now. But when I was on Android, I was loving Android just as much. So either way, it's great. I did uninstall it and go to the store and try to reinstall. It's still the old one for me. So
it's coming. As I told you, Apple's a lot more stringent about their rules. But thank you for all of your. Andrew says no, he doesn't have it. It hasn't updated yet.
Hey, we've got a congratulations from Judy Page. Chris, that's my mom. Just letting you know. That is my mom. So everybody say hi, Mom, because she's everybody's mom.
Hello, Mama. How are you, Mom? Yes, thank you for letting me borrow your son for our podcast here. But this is awesome. I'm the show should have ended like about 15 minutes ago, because I was just going to make this a really basic announcement about the app saying it's coming, it's done. I had no idea that he uploaded it, but he did. He uploaded it, and he also sent me the code so that I could have a developer go in and make the adjustments to it. So I am super excited, super excited. Man, it's everybody. Here come all the moms. Here you go, Judy. Here's a bunch of moms for you. No, Andrew, no relation to Betty Page. I can tell you that.
No relation.
No relation. So
we do like the DNA tests and all those. Trace it back to something. I'm sure there is somewhere along the way.
Yeah. So, man, I am super excited that everybody's got this app now.
This is awesome.
But just know, if you start it in your car, it's not going to communicate the artist in the song. That's going to be the second. That is going to be the second iteration of this. I'm going to hire a developer to come in and make these little tweaks on the system. Not only for the song requests, but there's some other functionality that this radio station that is now online, which is what I was trying to tell you before. Now the radio station is completely online. So when my house, which is in like thunderstorm central, whatever, it's like whenever we have big storms, it always seems to go. We typically tend to avoid a lot of stuff. But if we do get hit, we get hit hard and the power goes out. And that means the radio station will always be on. Means that
this is great.
You never have to worry about
celebration time, man. We need to just go celebrate. We need to get together this weekend and do something.
I know you need to text me and tell me when it becomes available for Apple, or Andrew text me on Facebook. Facebook message Funkatopia. Let me know when it becomes available for iPhone, and then we can make the announcement on Facebook. I don't want to tell everybody, but for you fine folks that are right here, right now, it's out. You have it. A 24/7 Prince radio station. It's here. And I'm telling you, man, and we're going to start doing all the regular shows. So we're going to start doing the concerts at 8:00 on Friday nights, which is an honor of John Frost, one of our board of directors. That's one of the things that he wanted to do. If you're a board of director level supporter on Patreon, you get to do a 1-hour show of your choice every single month on this radio station. So you can actually do advertising. You can do not advertising for the whole hour, but you can pick what you want to play. John Frost picked the first Friday of every month at 8:00 to do a live Prince concert. So I'm going to reinstate that. I'm going to try to set that up for starting this Friday to do it at 8:00. We're going to start doing, maybe we'll do like, I don't know. We're all types of things that we can do. A Prince protege period.
Mm-hmm.
We can do all kinds of stuff.
It's awesome.
It's going to be regularly scheduled like a radio show, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be,
and it'll stay up.
and it will stay up 24/7. Yeah, it's on a server that's backed up on another server that's backed up on another server that's, I don't have solar panels. So.
Awesome, man. This is good stuff, man. A night of fun and technology all over the place, including the app. So
yeah.
What a fitting.
And one last thing I want to say about the Funked Up app too, just real quick. The Funked Up app that I've had streaming from here for my radio station, I realized that it's had its little quirks, and the biggest quirk seems that even though there's almost 2,000 songs in this mix, it seems like it's playing like the same 150 or something like that. Right. It doesn't seem like it's going in and grabbing all these different songs that we want them to play. Right. And that's the other reason why I moved it to this system, was because I've tried everything, and so I wanted to move it to this new system. There are some songs that are in heavier rotation than others. Like you're going to hear Love Roller Coaster, and you're going to hear, you're going to hear some really of the popular things, not like in a top 40 way, but a lot of people that are tuning in are going to want to hear some funk songs that they know, like the Atomic Dogs and things like that. And we're going to play that for you, the Septembers. We're going to play all that stuff. But we're also going to be throwing in a lot more of this other stuff as well that you have not heard. And Karen says, got it on Android. Sweet. So hoping that the celebration will be that people actually donate or become Patreon supporters. That's the ultimate goal here. Because initially this was only going to be available to Patreon supporters. And we decided not to do that. Just because of the times we're in, we decided not to do that. But we're still doing things for Patreon supporters right now that we're not doing for others. You Patreon supporters know that I've been going a little bit more heavy-handed about the files and things that I've been giving you lately, which is actually pretty cool. I'm digging into my treasure trove of stuff and putting it out there for Patreon supporters. Cool concerts, different things that you're not going to get anywhere else. And it's going to be great. All right, I'm done.
Well, we did it.
Let me know. iPhone people, please let me know. Text me when it's, or private message me. Let me know when it's on iPhone so I can make the announcement on Facebook. But man, very cool. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. We are wrap it up.
Wrap it up. We're done. Good night, everyone. We will see you next Tuesday. What the topic will be? Not telling you. Because we don't know.
We don't know.
You'll find out when we find out.
Right. You'll know when we know.
That's right. Hold on a sec. Kimmy says, when I click on, it's just, Kimmy started. When I click on Funked Up, it says Purple Yoda Radio as the song. It will switch once the song starts. It's kind of got a little bit of rotation. So
a little bit of delay.
Yeah, it's got a little bit. We're still working through some kinks, but any problems, we just need to know that. So when I have this developer go in to make any adjustments, they can go in and tweak these things out and fix it so it can be done. But just enjoy the stream as it is. It's going to be awesome. So
yeah, exactly. Enjoy it as it is. It's good stuff.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Support us. Venmo, Cash App. Become a Patreon supporter. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff. It's
like, follow, click, subscribe, all of that.
One real quick thing. I saw on Instagram there was this really, really funny Instagram guy who had this picture of a phone pad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, and it says, here's a quick game to see if you can do it real fast. If you can type 555000 in 2 seconds, and his subscribe button was right over the 0. So I almost fell for it. I was like, oh, let me see if I can do this. And I went 555. And I was like, oh, I see what you're doing. And he had like a lot of subscribers just because he came up with this little trick where the subscribe button was right over the 0. I was like, oh, you're a slick bastard. Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
That's freaking great. Oh, what a dude. All right. Good night, everyone. We'll see you later.
All right. Good night.
Good night.